Welcome to Marketing Adventures with Carmel. We're back again, and this is where we interview some amazing business owners and entrepreneurs, and also we share some tips, tricks, and insights with you about how they've got past some stuff and they've been able to leverage their business, and all about marketing and how to make sure if you can market your business, then you have a business. If you can't market it, you don't have a business. We're going to talk today to an amazing guest all the way from Prague, but we'll get into that in just a minute. Remember, if you are on social media, please give us a thumbs up or a comment or question underneath. If you are on YouTube, of course, hit that subscribe button and that little bell so you'll be alerted every time one of these amazing interviews comes up too. So today we're going to be speaking to, I always pronounce it incorrectly, but I'll try, Viviane?
Yes, Viviane.
Viviane. Okay. We're going to be talking to Viviane. So welcome, Viviane, all the way from Prague.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Carmel. It's amazing to be here.
It's my pleasure. And today we're going to be talking about how to put almost any business online, even if others are skeptical. So let me take a moment and introduce you properly, Viviane. So Viviane has worked with babies and children for the past 10 years and is a certified postpartum doula, breastfeeding enthusiast, professional consultant, focused on infants, newborns, care specialist, and first aid in newborns certified trainer. So she knows a thing or two about babies, let me tell you. So this is why this is such a fascinating interview, because you'll find out in a few moments, to be able to put certain businesses online that are traditionally face-to-face as being a challenge. So her babysitting journey started at the age of 15, as we all did for some extra money. Quite often we were babysitting. But after graduating secondary nursery school, she decided to educate herself more on birth and postpartum transition at the Private Midwife School in Prague. But she felt she wanted to be a bit more hands-on. So she moved to Ohio as an au pair, where she broadened her knowledge and in her early childhood development, and in Columbus State Community College. That was a bit of a mouthful. That's why I was going, how do I say that again? But Viviane's passion for helping families grew and led her to the decision of starting her own doula business. Now, COVID hasn't made it easy for any of us, let's all face it. So being locked into our homes most of the time, birth and postpartum support is needed more than ever. How true is that when you're locked away from everyone and you're pregnant, or you've just had the baby and you really need a lot of help? So with that in mind, Viviane decided to bring her business, a doula business, face-to-face, in the room, you kind of thing, online. So today, 2 years later, after that first breakout, she's coached and walked with many mums online, guiding them through their motherhood journey. So that's why I'm so excited to talk about this today, Viviane, because you would think doula, midwife, anything like that to do with pregnancy or just after having the baby or breastfeeding, it has to be done face-to-face. Isn't that right?
Yes and no.
Yeah, I know, you'd imagine it would have to be.
Yes, I mean, one thing is that these type of services can only be done face-to-face, where you can hands-on learn from someone professional like a doula or a midwife. But the fact is, if the work is done online and you work with a woman's mind and you prepare her enough, there's no need for a doula to be there physically, to be present, because the mother already knows everything she needs to know, and she's the one birthing the baby, not me. I'm there on Zoom or FaceTime or wherever we decide to do this over. I'm there in case she needs help. She needs a reminder that she can do it. She's strong enough. Her body knows what to do. And I help advocate. So I really don't need to be there physically. It's really just about the right mindset someone puts themselves in.
So let's just backtrack a little bit. So I touched on, at 15 we started babysitting and things like that. So what was it, do you think, that initially led you to be doing this? What was, you know, your pusher, your driver? What was it that led you to do that?
So I love working with children. I love babies. I love seeing them grow. But I felt a little bit isolated from the parents, from the mother and father. And I wanted, I had this intuition, this this drive that I wanted to work a little bit more with the mothers, how they are doing, what their approach is, what their thoughts are on different things. So, I decided to move, and I started a full-time au pair job, and I was so into it. I educated myself on some psychology and early childhood development. And I loved it so much. And I saw it from family to family once I moved back here to Prague, to Europe, that every family needs some time. They need some self-care, some break from it all, from parenthood. Because it is the hardest job in the world. You don't get a break. You don't get sick days. You don't get vacation days. You get to do it all with the little ones.
Yeah.
No matter how you feel. And so you have to be there for them, because they're your biggest idols. And so I realized that when a baby is born, there's so much happening. The mother is going through an immense change in her body. She's, dealing with, she's not pregnant anymore. There's this physical loss of the baby being inside her. Now the baby's outside of her, and the baby is exposed to the outer world. And with that comes, a lot of worries. With that comes sleepless nights and a lot of wakings. And there a lot of people nowadays move across the world without their closest family to be there when these big moments happens. So I'm there for them in that case.
Yeah.
I help them go through this transition of life before baby is born and life after the baby is born, and what to do now. I interviewed a lot of moms just to ask them how it felt, and they said, yeah, like in the hospital or wherever I, gave birth, it was great. I was excited to go home. And once I got home, I laid the baby on the bed or, on a safe, in a safe area. And then I was just like, what now?
Yeah.
What do I do now? I'm a mom. What am I supposed to do?
Wow.
Can I go to the toilet? Can I leave the baby? It's these questions that no one thinks about, that no one pays attention to, but they're so inevitable. Every mom asks it, and it can be daunting. It can be, yes, it can be daunting. It can be intimidating.
Awesome. So what first year got you interested, even like at 15, to look after children or to be wanting to work with children?
I always had this bond with children. I loved to just play with them, to nurture them. I loved, from a very young age, I always had pets at home. I loved to care for another human or just another being. And so children just touched me so much on this journey. Just at 15, you don't know much, but if you're into it, it's like you make them dinner, or you warm up a bottle, or you hold the baby and then hand it to the mom when the baby's, bath time approaches. And it's just these moments of bonding, of these moments that you will never experience again in that same situation in that very second. So this is what really just got me going, that I want to be there. I want to help nurture. I want to help be who they want to be. I want to embrace their personality, and I want to help them grow.
Beautiful. Awesome. Tell me one thing, actually, before we go any further, while I think about it. What is the difference for people watching this between a doula and a midwife? And I know we kind of briefly touched on that when we had a chat before, but for people that are watching, like, if we can put a short synopsis into what is the difference between both, how would you describe it?
A midwife has medical training. A midwife does not need another person to be there if she wants to birth the baby. She can also prescribe some medications. She has certain autonomy as a registered nurse per se, or a doctor. So if your pregnancy is low risk, it's not high risk, and you choose to birth at home, you definitely want a midwife for that. A doula, on the other hand, is there to support the mother, not only physically, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually. She is the anchor. A doula is sort of a safe base, a safe ground for the mother when she herself is doubting herself, or is doubting her body, or has difficulties channeling the inner strength, the inner power within her during childbirth. A doula has not medical training, so a doula cannot prescribe any medications. She cannot assist, let's say, during a cesarean, an emergency cesarean. She can be present, but she's not permitted to.
Not licensed. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, awesome. Cool. So tell me, I know we talked, like, I love what you do, but tell me about putting your business online. Like, I mean, what did you come up against when you even thought about putting your business online?
So when the pandemic started, and I was thinking, well, the demand is still pretty big, and even it was even
probably even bigger because they were all locked up.
Exactly.
Yeah,
People need social contact, and before the pandemic, everyone just go face to face. There's word of mouth. There's the social contact that you have with each other. But the pandemic, it all locked us, in our homes. So I decided I need to yield to the situation, and I need to go online because the demand is even higher than before, but I'm not able to do it face to face. So, I started thinking about it, what it entails, and then all these things. I was never really a social media fanatic. I was always, I had social media. I used it for my personal use. I used it to connect with my friends that I used to be classmates in high school, and now they're all across the world. So I was like, how does one do that exactly? So I started researching. I started doing some heavy market research on which platform to choose and what to do next, and how to promote and how to be an online doula. So I wanted to make it on my own, and that's a lot of what entrepreneurs say in the beginning, and then they burn out, and then it's not working, because there's tons of information you can access for free on YouTube, on anywhere on the internet, on how to have a consistent client income, or
absolutely.
But there's a defining point where you say to yourself, I'm not making this on my own. It's okay to seek help. It's okay to ask for help. So I reached out to a business coach who coached me, and she is tremendous. And she really just opened my eyes on how to work that, and really like the insights of social media, having a business using social media as your main platform.
Yeah, and I remember when we chatted, you had a bit of resistance from other people, not just yourself, as in, how could you do that online? So how did you overcome that?
People are still being skeptical sometimes about when I say I'm an online doula coach. People are getting a little bit wary of that fact, just because they don't understand. They cannot picture, they can't imagine how that would go. So I explain, I have these really extensive programs where I work with, mothers to be, and we heavily work with energy, with their mind, with how they feel, what they fear, and where is that fear coming from? Because if I realized one thing working with mothers over the years, it was that the fears that we carry in ourselves, can make a huge difference in how the birth experience will go.
Right.
So if we let go of those fears, if we substitute them for real truths of ours, real things that we believe in, not that we heard or read on a blog about a traumatic birth experience. And that's the worst thing a mother can do. Please don't do that.
don't go to Dr. Google. Yeah.
Right. So it's really all about the mind and the preparation. So it's definitely something that can be done online. And I would say that the results are even better than in person, because I did both, right? I worked in person, I worked online, and I really favor online because it gives people a sort of flexibility. They feel sick, especially mothers to be, they feel sick, they feel nauseated, they can't do the Zoom call today. Okay, well then let's reschedule. You don't have to be ready for me, you don't have to put on your pants for me because I'm coming.
Don't put on your pants, just sit there in your bare bum.
But it gives people a lot of freedom when they sign up for this online route of being coached. And that's I think that's the beauty of it. And I can also help people on a global spectrum, which is amazing. I can coach someone from New Zealand. I can coach someone from South Africa. It is truly amazing that the internet allows me to do this, because Czech Republic is, it's not big. It's not too small either, but there's only a limited amount of people I can serve and help here. And also, it doesn't resonate with everyone, which is okay. But then again, there's COVID and there's different strains of COVID, and people are wary. People give them a sense of feeling more safe when they can do it online. There is no risk of transmitting any illnesses or viruses. So
true. Very, very true. So give us an idea of that transition to putting your business online. What did you have to do from somebody, as you said, that was just a bit social on social media, to actually building your business? What did you start to do?
So there's a couple of very important things that I find out that, along the journey. And it's definitely one that I would say, and there's a couple I would like to say, but the first one is find your platform. If you're going to start, what kind of platform are you going to use? And I'm saying this because I find it very important, because every platform operates on a different pattern, and every platform favors different type of media. There's Facebook, who favors almost every single media, from written text to posters, to video, to audio files. There's a lot of diversity on Facebook going on, but there's also, LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, whatever feels the best for you, that's what you should lean towards too. But there's also this second tricky thing to that. You need to find your people. Is your target audience using that platform that you want to use, that you're comfortable with? So that's another thing. These two things are very important to blend together, because I can favor Facebook, but my target audience can be purely LinkedIn or purely TikTok. Well, that's a thing I have to learn now. I have to learn how to use TikTok.
No, please. And I'm all over videos, but please don't make me learn TikTok. It's just, ain't nobody got time for that. So for you, your preference then to do was LinkedIn? Is that where you went, or Facebook?
So I started Facebook, slowly blending into LinkedIn, and I will soon launch YouTube. So I'm very excited about that. It definitely takes time, especially for new entrepreneurs or wantrepreneurs who are just getting out there. It can be tough on the mind, from the mental side, because some people are naturally shy, some people are introverts, some people have difficulty to say what they think because they're afraid they're going to be judged, they are afraid what people might think. That's a huge thing. Another thing is that people might suffer from something called impostor syndrome, which I think perfectly applies to my business, because I'm not a mother. I have not birthed a baby yet I work with mothers to be, and I'm preparing them for the birthing, even though I haven't gone through it myself. So, there's definitely factors that could make me feel like an imposter. And there were times I felt like one, but with time you overcome it. And also, if you want a business, it's not like
you have to overcome it. Yeah.
Have to overcome it. There is no other way. Business, just get over it. You have to sort through your own problems and put them aside and do it. So that can be a problem from the beginning, but as you get comfortable with everything, you expand, you see the possibilities that are there. And as me, I'm currently starting also video podcasts, so it's very exciting.
So you picked your platform, and to go from just talking to your family and friends, what kind of thing did you start putting out there in order to attract that ideal customer?
So it's I would say valuable content is the thing that you want to do. Quotes or quotes from books or people who are in the same business as you are very helpful, but definitely they don't create a constant stream of clients. They don't attract people. People want to, if people are investing time in you, if people are watching you or following you, they want to learn something. They want you to bring something new to them, something they might not have known, something, breaking a myth or explaining what this means, or what to say to my healthcare provider when he asks this, how to feel more empowered. It's I think that is the way you do it, because it not only gives you credibility, and with credibility comes confidence and competence, it also gives you space to connect and bond, because people will not bond over quotes. People will bond over personal experiences, over stories. And that's another thing. Just, I would say to everyone who's watching, just to be you on social media. Don't try to pretend to be someone else. Use your language. Use what feels natural to you. No one's perfect. We're not perfect. We are human beings, and we do things that sometimes might not go as we want them to go. And telling people this, it helps them to see you, that you're a human. Oh, look, she's just like me. She's not this birthing goddess who knows everything and everyone, and she will never fail. That's not true. And I want people to know that. I want people to know that I'm just as them, that I'm just as vulnerable. I'm just as, sometimes wrong. And I think it's not a weakness to admit, oh, I didn't know this. Or if you genuinely don't know something, I will say, I don't know, but I'll do my research, and you'll have it by tomorrow, or we can discuss this on our next Zoom call. There is no weakness in admitting that you don't know. And after all, I want to help people. I want to help mothers to become more educated, to become more empowered by the things they know. So I don't want to feed them misinformation.
For example, just getting back to building, your business online, what I'm hearing is choose your platform, decide to be you, add valuable content that connects and builds know, like, and trust.
Exactly.
Yeah. And Did you use video to connect? Did you use posts to connect? Like, what kind of medium did you use to try and connect even more with those people that you found was more engaging maybe than another?
Well, from the beginning, I did written posts because, again, I was still getting used to the fact that now I'm online.
Yeah.
People can, react different ways. So definitely written content for starters. And then I started doing some live videos, which had huge success, I would say. And I read one article from you where you said a video is worth 100 words, or a picture is worth 1,000 words. And I agree, because people are more into videos, especially if I think about it from my perspective. I try to help and serve mothers, right? They're holding the baby in one hand, groceries in the other. They don't have another hand to look on their phone and read my text. Like, what am I, what I have to say. What they do though is they click play and they just listen. Even if they don't watch, they can listen, and it's more valuable to them because they can do that while changing the baby. They can do that while cooking. So definitely video is the one
way
choice
up there. Yeah, so if you can, and look, we know sometimes people are scared of video and everything else, but my belief underneath that is, if your message is so vitally important to that person, it doesn't matter about you being embarrassed being on video. Just as you said earlier, just get over yourself, because it doesn't have to be perfect. I quite often stuff up a video and it's like, oh, well, every time I do a live, an airplane seems to go across my head every single time. And I'm going, oh, well, look at today, we were supposed to video in one way and one thing wasn't working. So we pivot and we change. And I think that's really important to remain flexible, because when I heard your story, I thought a doula online, how the hell does that work? But the flip side of that is, because of you pushing forward and going, no, more people need to hear this, it's actually opened up a whole audience that you potentially could never have reached before.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because there are people who favor being online. There are people who favor being in person, but the world has moved online due to COVID. Everyone's online. So it's the best time to start an online business, if anything. So yes, you're absolutely right. And sometimes technology, fails us, or sometimes I find myself stuttering sometimes, or losing track of thought. It's okay. I just say, I'm sorry. Just
I went down that rabbit hole. I'll come back up now.
Right. That's what people connect with. That's the human element to this technological world, that people connect with you on a deeper level. People see you're a human. You're not a robot. You're not a virtual assistant doing this. So so this is the human aspect, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I have found with videos is things like quick snippet tips. You can make tips, and that's a really good way. You can actually put on your makeup, you can have a couple of different t-shirts on, and you can record 10, 11 tips and then just splice them up, and you can actually schedule them to go out at certain times. And it just takes all that pressure off you trying to think of all this content to get ready. Plus I have to talk to people about the physicality of it, and plus I have to do this. It kind of takes some of that pressure. Let me ask you another question just before I will finish shortly. How those people that doubted you, or that said, oh, you can't do that or whatever, how are they now that you have built it online?
I would say they are surprised, nicely surprised. And I've learned not to share all of my business journey points or milestones or thoughts, ideas, mishaps with some people. And this is also for other people who are starting their business. It's family and friends can be very tricky in this. Because family wants you to stay safe. They want you to have that safe job, that secure and stable income every month. And friends will tell you, oh, this is awesome, this is amazing, no matter what you tell them, because they want to be friends, they want to support you. So don't share everything. And also So my mistake was I did share everything, and they were a little bit wary of the idea of me going online and how that works, because it's a scary world out there online. And now that they've seen me succeed, and it really took off, it's skyrocketed. I am very happy that I can help people and serve people. But they also they admitted, like, okay, this is a thing, it can be done online. Some people are still skeptical, some people just don't resonate with it, they just wouldn't invest that time and money into an online coaching business or coaching program. But most people resonate with it, but they just need a little bit more explanation, like how it works, and that it actually works. And you have testimonials, you have quote unquote proof that it works, because you show people how it works, figure it out.
How much energy do you expel in trying to convince them that it works, or does it matter?
Well, now very little, as opposed to what I used to do. It's you figure out where your energy should go. If you have a business, there's so many layers to that. There are so many things you have to think about. You're always creating new content. You always, trying to create something funny but engaging and informative. And you very quickly realize you don't have time to explain to every person.
You're too busy building your business.
Busy. Because I have people who are actually interested, who want my help, online. I don't have time for you to explain for the 10th time that it works, and just give me a chance, because no, if you don't want it, you're not going to change your mind. It's okay. I respect it. What I would like to see more is people, respect it, but, and
I think I think you've hit the nail on the head, and that's why I was saying it. For years, I would have been the same. Oh, but look, this works. And now I'm like, I just do. And if people say, oh my God, you were here and now you're there, I know. I don't try and convince them anymore. Like, I remember my poor dad. My dad had been in the same job for 35 years until he retired. So my background was hospitality. So quite often I would change jobs. Now, it was often, climbing the ladder. Oh, you've changed jobs again. My God, nobody will employ you. You keep changing jobs. And I go, no. And then when I started to go online, he actually by that stage had turned, and he used to say, if anyone could do it, Carol, you can. So it was quite a transition, but it was only by proof that he believed it. It's what is it they say? Show me and I'll believe it. The truth is, and as a true entrepreneur, it's like, I believe it, then it can show itself to me, or then I can show it to you, but I have to believe it first.
Exactly.
And I think that's a clear distinction. And it's been amazing chatting to you, and thank you so much for all your insights. Now, one question I like to ask my guests normally before I finish, there's two questions I've left, but number one is, if you weren't doing what you're doing right now, what would you be doing instead?
So if I would have to choose a different field, you mean?
Yeah, if you hadn't gone down the route of being a doula, looking after kids and anything else, what else would you be doing?
That's a tricky question. I would say I was always into anthropology and how people evolved. So I think I would still be in that realm of it, but maybe on a more academic level, maybe a little bit more, in a lab type of thing. I was always in a lab, so I would probably choose working in a lab on something.
Isn't it quite interesting, working in a lab or working with babies? Like, they're polar opposites, really.
A little bit,
yeah. So the last question is, if people would want to contact you, how can they contact you? What's the best way to find you?
So I have a Facebook profile that's public. It just says my name. It says Doula Viviane Schima. And then I'm on LinkedIn. It's the same name, just without the doula. And I also have my website. So it's an do you want me to say the website? Because it's a
That's okay. I've just changed your name on the thing down the bottom there, guys, and you can see it's Doula Viviane Schima?
Yes.
Yes. So that's down the bottom, and they can find you from there. And I'm sure on your Facebook page and on your LinkedIn, your website is there anyway, they can go to that. So if you are anywhere in the world, you can have a doula by your side because she's online and it's easier than you think, no matter who's telling you that you can't put your business online. So don't ever tell me, guys, that you can't put your business online, because we have evidence of something that you would think you never could, and you can. Thank you so, so much, Viviane, for joining me today. It's been amazing to interview you and sharing your insights and your journey with us. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Carmela. It was a pleasure. Thank you for having me. I had an amazing time. Thank you.
That's awesome. It's my pleasure. So for now, guys, remember, if you're on social media, give us a thumbs up, ask us any questions. If I don't answer, well, I can answer some of them, but Viviane will answer, or I'll make sure she does. And if you're on YouTube, again, hit that subscribe button and that little bell so that you can get reminded when we have some of these awesome interviews. But for now,